Hey everybody, Stacy, personally speaking, here in Japan by one of my favorite places. Can you guess? Yes, I'm by the river. I was feeling a little bit in the slums, so to speak. And so I decided to come for a jog and have a bit of quiet time by the river here. It's very overcast today. Expected to rain in a few minutes, but let's see what will happen. So you could say pretty much for the past 3 weeks I have not been working. My schedule is very light in May, and it was also very light in April. So it's like being on a really, really long extended holiday without the ability to really go anywhere, and then trying to get back into the frame of mind to work when you don't really want to. Yeah, but I give God thanks. As you can see, if you have been following my blog, Stacy Personally Speaking, or listening to my podcast at Stacy Personally Speaking, you would have known that I had a bit of a bug, and it turned out that it was just a cold. Don't ask me where I picked it up from, but certainly it's in the air. It's the season for it, because the temperature can be cold one moment and in a few hours it gets really hot. And that's because of the season, the change in season, and the fact that the rainy season is also starting, you know. So I picked up a little bit of a bug, but you know, in this corona time, there's just so much apprehension about everything, anything that has cold or flu-like symptoms, you know. So that had set me off in a little bit of a panic, especially the fact that I told persons, you know, I'm not feeling well, and then, oh, do you have a temperature, fever, you know, and so on. So really have to be careful who we share things with, how we share it, when we share it. Yeah, I'm feeling much better. Actually went to work yesterday on my bicycle. Yeah, and I'll be going to work tomorrow. You know, I work on Tuesdays and Thursdays at a private high school. So I rode my bicycle yesterday and it was just about 25 minutes. So I'm going to be riding tomorrow again, if it's not raining, of course. Yeah, so it's pretty nice to ride, and it gets me the exercise when I don't feel like exercising. So that's good for me. Also, something that has, you know, really become an eye-opener for me is the fact that I not only have a very irregular schedule, but now with very little work, I have a very empty schedule. So I have to be trying to fill my time. And it's not that I don't have things to do. I have things to do, but I don't always know what to do, or being a creative, I'm not always in the mood to create. And a lot of the things that I need to do are creative. Yeah, so I know God is going to take me through this little bit of a bump in terms of the creative process and so on. I still need to complete that book I started 3 years ago, and it's open. It's been open on my desktop for the past 2 months at least. You know, since I finished school and finished working on Saturdays, you know, to really allow myself to de-stress and really get back in that frame of mind for working. But of course, knowing me, I'm always adding things to my plate, which I did recently with the increase of creating YouTube videos and starting another blog to journal for the next 365 days, starting April 1st. So I have been writing every day of the major activities that I've done each day. And then I added onto that creating podcasts for these writings, so you can listen to the audio if you don't feel up to reading. And it really takes a lot of time. But the truth is, I am enjoying it. I am enjoying it. But it's, just, I need that schedule. I need that pattern. And I guess as human beings, we tend to work off some amount of consistency, some amount of regularity, which I don't have. I don't have that right now. So that's a bit of a challenge for me. Trying to create it for myself. Last year, I guess, was a bit of a starting point, a little bit of a training ground. Meaning last year, April, when I stopped working full-time, went freelance. Of course, that was in the height of the corona pandemic, the newness of it, the novelty of it, no jobs, classes canceled, until I ended up with schedules that were just absolutely ridiculous. All hours of the night, all hours of the morning. But I was always busy, So there's a thing about being busy. There's a thing about being active and doing something. And when you're not, that can really affect your psyche. And my father just came into my mind because for the past 20 or more years, he has not been working. So he has not had anything consistent and, actively happening in his life, especially when it comes to earning an income. So I'm sure that's why he had been so mentally affected, really, really bad. And he lives alone for the most part, and just like me here living in Japan alone. And even though I'm trying to find a community, I guess I'm a little better now, realizing and understanding and embracing the kind of realities here in Japan. It is really, really tough if you're not doing something actively. If you're not doing something purposefully, it can really affect you. And no doubt I have to keep myself out of that. Really have to keep myself out of that and really try to apply some more structure to my life. So for those out there who may not be working, especially now, COVID time, a lot of persons have been laid off or your hours have been reduced. One of the lessons that I learned and I have been applying is to do more of what you enjoy, And you can only do that if you are at an emotionally sound place, a mentally sound place, and even a spiritually sound place. So you have to guard those areas very carefully, right? And try to put that energy into doing what you really enjoy doing. And that will help you by God's grace. So that's what I'm doing, and trying not to be ignorant of the triggers, I'm constantly monitoring myself, and I guess that's what the journal is also doing, helping me to understand how my days are going consciously. So I'm here at the river. It's going to be lunchtime soon, and I will have an online class at 4 o'clock, and I haven't seen this student in 3 weeks because they had taken a break just before one of the major holidays. Then it was spring break, and then it was Golden Week public holiday. So I'm trying to get back into that ad hoc schedule, which comes when working freelance. So that's just me sharing my thoughts. just kind of expressing how I'm feeling right now and trying not to dwell on it. What will I do when I get back home? I'm going to jog back home in a bit. What will I do? Make lunch, clean my kitchen. I'm not sure. I do have all of April's podcasts to record since I didn't start recording podcasts until May. I'm not sure I'm in the mood for that, because that requires a kind of voice that I don't know if I have the right voice for it, you know, and you want people to listen to you. You know, here I'm doing this YouTube, you can see me, you can see my expression. But on a podcast, you'll be listening to my voice, and I want it to be a voice that you want to listen to. But let me know what you think. Take some time, you know, to check out the description. In this video, I'm going to leave the links to my blogs. I think they're already there though. Yeah, I think they're already there. But how have you been coping, you know? Like, how have you been coping during this time? Keeping busy, you know? When you're on a holiday, what do you do to keep your mind engaged? That kind of thing, you know? Yeah. Bye for now from Stacy, personally speaking.
Like, share, and subscribe. Put a comment below this. Check out the description.